गर्म पानी करना।
जैसा सोचोगे तुम वैसा बन जाओगे, जैसा कर्म होगा वैसा फल पाओगे। श्रेष्ठ कर्म का आधार है खुद का कर लो दर्शन, यही जीवन का सार है, यही जीवन का सार है। जैसा सोचोगे तुम वैसा बन जाओगे, जैसा कर्म होगा वैसा फल पाओगे। मन में हो शुभ संकल्प तो जीवन में फिर दुख कैसा, जब अंतर में शुभ भावना तो दिल में सुख सावन जैसा। हार कर जो ना हारे जीत उसी की होती है, घनघोर अंधेरे में भी जलती जगमग उसकी ज्योति है। जैसा देखोगे तुम वैसा बन जाओगे, जैसा चाहोगे तुम वैसा बन जाओगे। सूरज है तो है किरण, बादल है तो है पवन, प्राण है तो है तन मन, सात सुरों में है सरगम। जो धरती है तो है सागर, जल थल है तो है जीवन, जीवन है तो है भगवन। भगवान के संग समय सोचोगे तुम वैसा बन जाओगे, जैसा कर्म होगा वैसा फल पाओगे। श्रेष्ठ कर्म का आधार है, खुद का कर लो दर्शन, यही जीवन।
Good morning, everyone, and Om Shanti. Welcome to our monthly podcast and monthly session. So this is our fifth session in the row, and we warm welcome all of you. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are, and good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks everyone for joining. So today I have a privilege to have Brother Bhanu with us for this beautiful podcast. Getting a time and slot from him, it's like next to impossible, but we are all lucky enough to have him today in today's podcast. Let me introduce him. If I keep introducing him, it will take an hour. So, but I'll just in brief. Bhanu Bhai is a coach. He's working in impact innovation and entrepreneurship. He has been more than 2 decades his career in exciting technology innovations, design thinking, human computer interactions, etc. Now he has been working with TCS Foundation for a Digital Impact Square. He's one of the youngest leaders within TCS and also in India. He's the one chosen one for tuning scholarship at UK and also in Harvard and both Oxford. He's also professor in IIT Jodhpur as a freelancing and helping the people there in getting the startups and innovation while doing all the excellence in academics and all the top worldwide degrees. He's also a practitioner of meditation and is studying the Rajoga meditation taught by Brahma Kumari since more than three decades now. So he's a global traveler and inspiring leader for all of us. So warm welcome, Brother Bhanu, to this podcast, and thank you for your time. Thank you and warm welcome. So we'll start to the session now, and the topic today which we have taken is living a life of purpose. So I hope it's very exciting, and most of us are living with a purpose. I'm sure we have certain purpose in our life. So now we'll discuss about this topic, and it will be a Q&A session. It's not a one-way session. It will be taken in a Q&A. So I'll ask few questions from Brother Bhanu, his own story, and we will hear his own story and experience from him, and what is his own purpose and which is leading him towards this social cause. He's primarily working in the social cause, bringing a positive impact, in the society. And then we'll open the forum for a different set of questions from the audience who would like to ask their questions from him. So I'll start with Bhanu Bhai to share for him what does it mean to live a life of purpose. So what is his definition uh, to live a life of purpose, and why it's important to have a sense of purpose in our life, and what does it mean if we don't have any purpose and we are just living, and then how does it make a difference when we have a sense of purpose. And then the third question in this row is how one can discover their purpose in the life. So one way.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear you. Thank you.
great. Thank you so much for a very generous and expansive introduction. I hope you can all hear me and we can have this good conversation. When Neeraj Bhai approached me, he did say that we would like to have a session, but then just considering a bit of hectic schedule, I couldn't prepare for a session. I suggested that we have this conversation in a very free-flowing way. So whatever I'm going to share is absolutely on the fly. Based on whatever you ask me, I will share my experience and my understanding. I think that would make it more organic and more lively. And yeah, so I think the topic itself is fascinating. Uh, how to live a life of purpose. Now, uh, so at the outset, I will say that for me, my experience has been that when we look at the word purpose, usually we associate it with having one purpose in life, or setting a particular purpose and trying to achieve it throughout life. For somehow that has not worked out the best. I have sort of been very open-ended in terms of as life evolves, as life emerges, I'm open to taking the next direction. Right. So I'm not necessarily fixing a particular direction, if it's fixing a particular why. If I were to call purpose as the why of life, I'm not necessarily fixing one particular direction. I'm just going with the flow as such. But then the question often arises: can you just go on with the flow just like that, or do you need to have some more preparation for it? So my experience has been that having some preparation, having some amount of what you would call a foundation would help, so that you are not necessarily stuck if you so that you're not necessarily stuck with surprises, but you're actually flexible. At the same time, you have some core where you have an idea of what you would like to do. So in my view, for me, I have not actually defined a single purpose in life, as I have shared. For me, it has been mostly about uh, for me, how can I be useful in every conversation? For example, I'm here today. I'm here 150% of myself, right? I will give everything that I know and everything that I can offer. No filters, no conditions, and every single interaction that I have with people. That is my objective. That I would like to be as useful in that particular conversation, in that particular situation as possible. That has served me very well. That understanding, that ability to be absolutely present, absolutely available for whatever is needed in that particular way, in whatever way I could help, I could contribute in a particular situation, I would like to do that. Now, I could actually expand this and I could say, in a particular role that I play, how could I be useful in a particular situation, in a particular conversation? So it could be something that's as small as that to something as large as, you lead a team, large team across the world, and deliver something over multiple years, right? You could do that also, but the bottom line is that every single interaction, I would like to make myself useful. Now, making myself useful to others is not very easy, right? Because I have to be useful. I have to be able to deliver some value in a conversation. I have to be able to deliver some value to people. So for that, there is a preparation that is needed. So there is some amount of work that needs to be done on the self. That's my experience. So it's my whole outlook to life has been very self-directed, saying that how can I improve myself, or how can I invest in myself in such a way that I can be helpful to someone, right? How can I be useful to someone? So that's what is sort of the bottom line for me, that every action that I take is, can I invest in myself so that when the time comes, when the situation arises, I can be of value to someone else. And I'm very, very grateful that every situation, scene, circumstance that has happened in front of me uh, has been one that either teaches me and enriches me, or where I have been able to offer something of value to people. So this has been my outlook, and it has actually helped me be peaceful, be stable, and be sort of well directed. I don't feel lost, and I don't feel like I have to have a single purpose, otherwise I'm lost. My single purpose, if you call it, is to be useful to people, is to offer something of value. So it may be a bit unconventional to say that my purpose is not a single sentence, not a single word, but it's as simple as being useful to people. But it's something that's been really useful and helpful to me. I'm happy to see if anybody else has any view, or if anybody but need any help in thinking of how they could define their purpose. I would be able to offer help.
So, anyone would like to share what's their purpose in the life? Anyone from audience would like to share anything? All right. So, Bhanubhai explained very well. To be useful and being, helpful to everyone, which is how he defines his purpose. And another important thing which I like is like whenever he's talking to people or he's having this session now, so he's 150% into the session. He's 100% attention and focus in the session. So for all of us, it's a learning, very good learning, that whenever we are doing any job or any work, whether it's office or personal, or we are speaking to anyone, we should be 100% present at that time from the mind also. So that's a very good takeaway from this point. So Bhanubhai, why now we know like what's your purpose, but why it's important to have a purpose in our life? And if we don't have a purpose in our life, what can go wrong? Or so we need to know the importance of having a purpose. And then if right now suppose we don't have any purpose, how we can find out what is the right purpose for me in life?
Yeah, so I think it's a good question to ask. What would happen if I don't have a purpose? I think maybe many of them may not recognize whether there is a particular purpose or not. And it's okay. I think we sometimes overemphasize on having a single purpose. I think what is more important is to find out where do I see growth for myself, right? At an individual level, where do I see growth for myself? When I say growth, it's not the world, it's not the growth that we're used to hearing, career progression or things like that. Where do I grow intellectually? Where do I grow emotionally? I think that whatever gives you that growth, whatever gives you that ability to progress, I think that is a good direction to pursue. And in that process, you will realize that you start enjoying doing that. You will start appreciating the returns. You will probably also feel like you're blessed to be able to work in some areas, or you'll be able to bless that you're working with some people on a particular cause. That is what will guide you eventually, and it may eventually take the shape of what you would call a purpose. But bottom line, the question to reflect would be what exactly is giving me growth. And when I say growth, again, as I mentioned, it's not necessarily material growth, but something that's deeper, something that's more permanent with you. You will change, you will grow as a person, you will grow in your emotional ability, your emotional strength, your resilience. That actually is the path to pursue. And then later on, you may eventually call this has been my purpose, this has been my calling, and so on. If you don't have it, it is just that you probably are a bit diffused, right? Diffused or scattered in your approach. You may be doing multiple things. And what you need to actually find what gives you growth is just taking a pause and reflecting on the actions that you're doing and saying, why am I doing whatever I'm doing? I think that's something that is deeply important for us to all of us to ask. And for me, from time to time, I keep asking myself this question, say every 12 months or so, why is it that I'm continuing to do what I'm doing? And if I am continuing to actually get value for myself and also offer value, uh, I pursue that path accordingly. So uh, because I don't have time to take a pause and reflect on why am I doing whatever I'm doing, I sometimes continue go with the flow because facing that question is not comfortable, right? Sometimes I feel that I am in a lot of circumstances, a lot of pressures in my life, uh, due lot of constraints in my life, due to which I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't have the time to or the strength to ask, why am I doing what I'm doing? And because of that, I'm just considering that whatever I'm doing must be good. And even if I don't like it, if I don't get fulfillment from it, I will continue doing it. I think here is where that strength is required. And if there is an intersection of spirituality in this process, it is here. It is this ability to take a pause and face those uncomfortable circumstance and say, let me really ask myself, why am I doing what I'm doing? And what is the whole reason why I'm doing this? I can acknowledge the constraints. I can acknowledge this situation and say, because of my current financial situation, because of my current personal situation, I'm doing what I'm doing. This is not exactly what I would like to do, but I at this moment I don't have an option. Even acknowledging that will give you some peace of mind, will open, actually maybe even open up the door for you to do, even if it's 1%, 2% of really what you're passionate about. So first thing, if you don't have what you are calling a purpose in life, your efforts may be more diffused. You may be mostly operating on an autopilot. You are not really thinking about what you're doing. But whenever you are able to do that, it is a good idea to ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I doing whatever I'm doing? What is my source of growth, right? If am I growing? And then whatever you, if you pursue that path of growth for the self, I think eventually you will realize that may be your purpose. That may be the reason why you're doing something.
Yeah, very beautifully explained. So for me, it's like purpose is not just a material growth. It's something when I grow emotionally, intellectually, I develop my inner resilience. That may be my true sense of purpose. And while I'm doing certain things to living or for living or because of my personal conditions, that also I need to acknowledge and I need to align my purpose, having the combination of both. That's a, I think, takeaway for all of us. And having a deep sense of purpose in the life is very important. Otherwise we just felt lost, and we might be going with the flow right now, but at a later point of time we may feel disappointed. So better to think, reflect, and choose a right purpose. It may be more than one, and then proceed accordingly. So very beautifully explained. So, Bhanuvai, now while you explained all of this and why it's important, so we would like, I know your personal story, but I know most of the audience doesn't know. So we would like to hear your own story, a detailed story, basically from your education, then your academic excellence, and then excellence in your corporate life, and then how you did your chosen for the top fellowships in Harvard and Oxford, and then how you choose a path where you might have gotten highest package salary in a corporate leadership yet so level, but still you chose a life where you are trying to make an impact socially. You are putting your day and night in bringing a positive social impact through the TCS Foundation. So we would like to know your story, which will be really inspiring for all of us.
Sure. I'll just take a quick pause and go back to the previous question. So when you say that if somebody does not have a purpose, they may feel lost. See, I'm very conscious that people may feel guilty if they don't have or they don't think they have a purpose. And I would hate to give that feeling of guilt to anyone, right? So I will just explain this a bit further, that it is just that, see, you have probably all of us have probably walked a certain path in life. What is needed is to actually take a pause and sometimes even go back and just turn backwards and see the steps that I have taken, right? See the footsteps that I have taken, and being able to connect those footsteps and make meaning out of those, right? Sometimes as simple as, if you think that you have gone all your life and had a particular path that you have taken, even to turn backward, look at yourself, and then have just see those, how those dots beautifully connect with each other. Every situation in life, the way whatever has led you to come to a particular place is actually very beautiful, is actually very well placed. Even to look at that and appreciate it, so that you don't feel guilty that I don't have a purpose, I don't know how I reached here. So I don't think you should have guilt that you don't have the single word, maybe a Western construct of purpose in life and so on. Just that you look backward and appreciate everything that has happened will probably give you some calm and give you some sense of being there in a right place. And then you can work on yourself. So there is nothing lost, right? So don't feel that, at least I don't want to appear prescriptive or preachy here. I don't feel that like, you're somehow lost if I don't have a purpose. It will come. It is just that we need the patience to actually look backward and be compassionate with ourselves. Many times we are in a hurry and we do a lot of things, and maybe we don't have time to just appreciate the journey that you have taken. So that is that about purpose. So you asked me about what's my story. Nothing like a big film story or something like that. There is, it's all happened very organically, very simply. As a kid, I have this experience that I've shared with some of them. Maybe anybody hearing me and who probably talked to me about this topic knows already. So as a kid, I was fascinated always with you. Let me ask you this. I don't know if anybody can type it in the chat. What do you think would be my childhood vision of what I would become when I grow up? Anybody want to take a guess? Probably heard some of my background and think. What do you think I would have wanted to become?
Maybe
What
people
would
can post on chat or can speak up. Yeah. Hmm. Maybe some scientist or bring in innovation.
Yeah, so actually, I wanted to be a bodyguard, you know, and I wanted to be a bodyguard, and I was always fascinated with saying, I let me, just think about. I used to fascinatedly watch these videos of, dignitaries coming to India and or wherever they're traveling, and all these Secret Service and security bodyguards used to be there. Even when my dad used to walk on the street, I used to walk behind him as if I was a bodyguard. I was still in primary school, but I had this feeling in my mind that bodyguard is a fascinating career path, and I would like to become a bodyguard at some point. Yeah, and I asked myself, and I grew up with this thing. When I became a teenager, young adult, I also still continued to have. Even to this day, I'm actually fascinated by the kind of role that the bodyguards play. This, I've studied everything about them, their clearances, their the kind of security, the kind of training that they get. I've spent a lot of time doing all of those things. But then very early on, I asked this question to myself, saying, why am I fascinated with these people? I know that I'll probably never be a bodyguard. I'm not built physically for that. I'm not trained for that. But why am I still so fascinated about that? What is it in them that fascinates me? And when I was reflecting on this very deeply, I realized that what actually attracts me is, just imagine the life of the bodyguard. The person whom they're guarding has basically given the care of their life, basically their life, in the hands of somebody else. And this bodyguard is so trusted to take care of somebody else's life. Can you imagine what kind of trust somebody should place if they have given their life on you? Right? So, how can you be so trustworthy that somebody entrusts their life with you? Right? And how can you actually have so much confidence in yourself that in case there is a crisis, in case there is a danger, you are willing to put yourself in the line of fire, literally, and you will be able to actually take a bullet for somebody else. So these sort of qualities actually were the deep reason why I was so fascinated with these people. That their quality of training, their preparation, their muscle memory, all of this is to die. Can you imagine somebody preparing so much so that they can die one day, and so that they can actually sacrifice themselves in the process? So that was a very deeply fascinating thing for me. I said, like, that must be one amazing attribute to have, that you are so trusted, you are so trustworthy, that somebody is ready to entrust their life with you. And the reason why I looked at it this way is because one is to say, oh, I'll never be a bodyguard, so let me move on to the next thing. But somehow I'm grateful that I had this thought that if I can go deeper below the surface and actually understand what are those skills, what are those characteristics that I really admire about them. Now, the next question was, can I actually replicate those skills, those characteristics in everything that I do? In everything that I do, then will I have the same level of excitement, same level of thrill, that I would do if I were a bodyguard? Then I got the answer. I felt, yes, I could actually take the same skills, take the same qualities, and apply that in my life, and say, I would like to be trustworthy, right? I would like, if somebody has, their career or their personal life or whatever it is that they need help on, and if I could be so trustworthy that they could share with me and I could be of some help to them, if I could train myself, I could prepare myself, that when the time comes, I will have a solution, I will have an answer, I will probably be better prepared to handle a particular situation. So these were sort of the principles that were ingrained in me during this reflection, that I will try and take those characteristics of what I actually envisioned, what I dreamt of, and try to apply that in any profession that I take up, right? And I was still in school at that time when I got this insight. Then I said, okay, whatever I do in life, if I were to take this, if I were able to take this and apply this in my life, I can take up any career and I will probably enjoy that. And very actually, it was a very good experience throughout my career. Even to this day, I have absolutely no regrets of everything that I did. It couldn't have been better. I've had an opportunity to lead really large teams, work on extremely complex things for entire countries, do some of the best, biggest event planning and executing them on innovation and so on. So many things that are absolutely very proud of. But I did all of this with an amazing team. And having that opportunity to lead the team, having the opportunity to actually exhibit these characteristics that I was always dreaming of in my profession, all of that. And probably this is one of the reasons why all my learning, right? I've studied at the best schools under the best professors in the world. And all my education, all my learning, whatever I have pursued has always been self-directed, has always been with the question that, how can I be a bit more, how can I make sense of the world so that when a situation occurs, where I'm walking around, when I'm meeting people, when I'm going about doing my daily job, I just make sense of the world better. And what happens is when I am getting that additional perspective, I find that I'm more at peace because everything seems to fall and make sense, right? Fall in place and make sense. Everything is perfect. What causes chaos, what causes this upheaval in the thinking, what causes up and down swings is lack of understanding of why something is happening. Whereas if you have an understanding of why something is happening, if you're able to make sense of the world, then you're at peace, then you're calm, then you're able to understand things why they're happening. So for me, I approached it that way. Said wherever there are unknowns, whenever I encountered in my career there were unknowns, if I felt that there was a better way for me to manage my time and projects and people, I found a course that is relevant to it, and I did not just take the theoretical aspects of it, but I understood the deeper philosophical aspect of it, and I learned. I had some of the best professors who actually dealt on these topics that way. So bottom line is that my pursuit of knowledge, my pursuit of what we are calling academic excellence was actually not pursuit of academic excellence. It is just that I was just enjoying everything that I was learning. It was helping me make sense of the world. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Okay. So I was just enjoying the process of being close to myself and picking up skills that are useful. So my approach has not been that I'm going to go to this prestigious school or college and university and study. I'm going to get this medal. I've not looked at it that way. I've just enjoyed the process. I have been in courses where I've absolutely been rock bottom. But then I really understood, why should I actually study this if it is so painful? I have everything else in my life. Why should I do this course? Why should I study this? Only if I realized that there was a value that this was able to offer, a clearer perspective, a better understanding it was able to offer, then I was able to go ahead and pursue that path and then study these things better. So if I look back, I can clearly see that uh, whenever there has been a gap in my understanding of the world, the right kind of course, the right kind of education, the right kind of experience has sort of presented itself in front of me. And because my focus was on closing that lack of understanding or lack of clarity, I just pursued that path. And it so happened that that was the right decision, or that was the best choice that I could make at that moment. I have not necessarily planned any of these things, right? I have not said, I know I will go to Harvard and then I'll come back and I'll do this and then I'll go to Oxford. I did not plan all of this. It's just that those situations started happening. Now, why was I able to do it if I look back? It is just that I'm very, very close to myself, right? I really understand what is it that I need. I really understand what is it that helps me. So now it may look like I'm self-centered, but I'm actually very close. I really know what is it that I need, and what is it that a gap that will fill me. So I'll give you this example. When I was actually working with, when I'll tell you this, up to 2015, I was in the commercial sector. I was traveling around the world and doing all sorts of commercial projects, and making all these high tech innovations and everything go on. But then 2015, I felt that, because I had just graduated from Harvard at that time, and I felt that I should put all of this education that I have, uh, to the purpose of, to people's, impacting people's lives. Until then, actually, I was working in projects, or I was working for, products and services that were just addressing the 1% of the world's population, 1% of the 1%. That means the most rich, the ultra rich people, and so on. And I was thinking that, how do I go back and think about the rest of the 99% of the world's population, that the products and services that I work on will never touch them? And so I had excellent opportunities, as you can imagine. But then I felt I should come back and do something that's more impactful. I came back to India, and that's when, as these thoughts were going on, see, this is exactly how I feel, that as these thoughts were going on, I had this opportunity to once go on one of these very, very exotic tech project for in Europe, in Amsterdam. And we were working on something really, really cool, very advanced technology. And one day it reflected. I was sitting with a bunch of people who are probably the smartest brains in the world, sitting in a room and trying to address a very complex problem, technical problem. And then I was coming back from that discussion, sitting in a bus stop in Amsterdam, and I thought to myself, saying, "What am I doing with all the knowledge that I have, with all the education, with all this understanding of technology and everything? So, what am I doing? And I'm solving this problem for even more elite 1% of the 1% world's population. Can I do something more impactful?" And at the same time, I got this opportunity to go to the fellowship, in the British government fellowship for Chevening. And there my research focused on, uh, creating impact at the grassroots. So my research was on, how do you create innovation ecosystems at the grassroots in India. And it was very well appreciated. And then I got an opportunity to and work at the TCS Foundation at Digital Impact Square. The idea here was that at any point of time, I did not feel like I'm losing out on a career. I'm losing out on this very high, high growth path, and so on. I was very comfortable with the fact that what I'm going to do next will probably be much more meaningful, and much more meaningful to me and meaningful to the world. And it did not matter what is the education that I've had until then. It did not matter how much English I knew, or how much technology I knew at that time. It was just that at that moment, what was necessary, I felt, was that I should redirect or repurpose the lesson that I have learned, the knowledge that I have gained, back to the community and back to the society. And so I've gone that path. And so far it has been an amazing journey. And being spiritual, being a student of the Brahma Kumaris, is just an additional bonus, because I somehow feel that there is a natural sense of uh, a spiritual well-being, both for the self and for the world around me. That deep sense is very clear, and that actually helps me stay grounded. And I would, in fact, recommend everyone to take some time off and see the lives of the people who are less privileged than us, and you will be much, much more thankful that to the position that you are in. You may find your purpose there, in serving the people who are less fortunate. So I think that kind of an opportunity exists for all of us, and you should be able to pick that up whenever you get that opportunity. So I don't, I actually have never thought of myself as I'm making. I have been told by many people in my colleagues who said, you're making a career suicide, you have that and this and so on. But I felt you have very little time left in this world. You have to make the most of this time, do meaningful work. And I think this is a very good opportunity for all of us to think about How is it that I would like to create an impact in the world? And the most impact that you can create is by being stable yourself, by being calmer yourself, by being peaceful yourself. Only then will there be clarity. Only then will there be all these opportunities that come in front of me. I'll be able to actually go and pursue them, right? So those are the thoughts that I've always had, and looking back at it, they've always been of useful use to me, and being very serviceable in the process.
Thank you so much, Bhanubai, for all inspiring and detailed story. And it's really inspiring to all of us, and to do a definitely purposeful work in our life. And also, thanks for correcting me. It's not losing anyone, but we need to be grateful what we are in right now. And also, I also like the point when you mentioned being being yourself, being calm yourself. So I think that is also greatest takeaway. While doing everything, we need to be calm and be ourselves and doing the right thing always. I think that integrity we always need to have with the self and with the God. So anyone would like to ask any question before I would like to move to the next one? Anyone from the
Yes.
audience?
Om Shanti. Yeah.
Ajit.
Would like to ask one question. Every time we listen, God has made everyone for a purpose, but we are not able to find our purpose. Even Bhanu sir told how to connect, but still we are not able to connect with our purpose. Someone guide us for Ikigai, a book, but that not help us. Is Bhanu sir?
Yeah.
Bhanu sir, yes.
Yeah. So what I mentioned earlier is that if you define purpose as a single statement, right,
Okay.
and say why am I existing, then
Yes.
I feel it is difficult to actually put all of our life into one single statement of why. So my suggestion is to first look for growth. What actually gives you happiness? What makes you contented? What makes me feel that I'm emotionally growing, spiritually growing, personally growing? Where is my personality getting enhanced? Sometimes I'm not able to take time to just stop and see, I did this project or I did this task. How did I actually grow in this? What is my growth in this? I'm not talking about career growth. I'm talking about you growing as a person. If I ask myself that question, then you will really see what actions, what thoughts, what circumstances made you grow. And then the next step is, can I have more of these experiences? Can I have more of these circumstances? Can I put myself through more of these situations so that I grow? And that path is what we are saying, pursue that path. Eventually, it may lead you to something where that becomes your career, that becomes your full-time opportunity. Like in my case, I don't know what the specific purpose of my life is, but I want to be useful. If I want to be useful, I can't just come to a conversation and pretend that I'm useful. I have to have something of value that I can offer. For that, I need to prepare myself. And for that, I need to be very honest and say, by the way, this is what the life situation has presented, and these are absolutely unknown to me. I don't know how to answer these questions. So let me pursue knowledge that will plug those gaps, that will help me overcome these misunderstandings or lack of understanding. And then I'll pursue a particular path that will give me some clarity. Then I'll take the next step. But the bottom line, what is throughout continuously is there, is why am I pursuing this particular path? Why am I studying? Why am I going and doing this particular project? Why am I going and helping someone? Is because eventually I want to be useful. Each interaction, each situation, each path that I pursue is helping me become more useful, and that is the path that I am pursuing. So similarly, you will also probably enjoy doing something. You will also see your growth in doing something. You should try to increase those tasks, you should increase those circumstances, and over a period of time you may call that your purpose and say, this is why I am doing it. Otherwise, I think, I don't know if somebody is able to define their purpose in a single sentence, all the best to them. I have found it difficult to put all of it into one single sentence and say, this is my purpose in life. I somehow feel that you will eventually discover it over a period of time. You have to only invest in creating the right circumstances for that, so that you don't read some book and get your purpose. You don't follow somebody and get a purpose. You have to discover it for yourself. And for that, slowing down is necessary. If I'm too busy, I will miss out all the small signs that life is giving me of where I have actually enjoyed something, where I have actually grown. And I have to be able to spot those small signs. Sunilji, I don't know if I've helped give any clarity.
Sort of clarity, but in the world, I am always seeing the people are dishonest and they want honesty from others.
Okay.
Always, it always disheartened me. Somebody told me, क्या सबको सुधार सकते हो क्या तुम? खुद को सुधारो, खुद एनवायरमेंट वैसा मिल रहा है, झूठ झूठ, हर आदमी झूठ बोल रहा है, हर आदमी। और मुझे ये नहीं समझ आता, आप अपनी गवर्नमेंट जॉब में हैं तो अपनी सर्विस को जस्टिफाई नहीं करते, आपको हर जगह पैसा चाहिए कुछ भी काम करने के लिए। क्यों? जब आपको सैलरी मिल रही है, इफ यू आर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड विद योर सैलरी, छोड़ दो ना इसको, फिर यहाँ क्यों बैठे हो आप?
Right. So I think these are bigger systemic issues. If you start trying to solve all of them, we will lose our peace of mind.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm losing my peace of mind because I'm losing.
Yes. Yeah, I think it is important. Unless it is you're personally impacted,
Yes.
you're going to have a tough time changing these entire systemic issues yourself. And thinking about them is probably much more challenging. And you're going to unnecessarily spoil your health doing that. Maybe first the focus is the question: what is it that I can do? Right? What is
Okay.
it that is in my control? And maybe just focus on that. It's going to be very difficult for us to come sit here now in this call and come up with a purpose or a framework for defining the entire purpose. But as self-centered we are, when I say again self-centered, it is not out of selfishness. That is, I'm turning inward. I am making sure that if I can transform myself, then the world will get transformed. If I can change myself, if I can be peaceful, if I can be more stable, then I can handle instability better. So it's not very easy to think of forget I will change later. First, let me change the world, right? So maybe it is important for us to focus on this. Everybody may be saying this to you, and it may also be more frustrating to you to hear this always. That why is everybody putting the responsibility on me? Honestly, it is because there is nothing else that is in our control. The only thing that is in my control is myself and how I respond to situations. So if I can invest in myself, that's the best investment that I can do.
How can we invest in myself?
Yeah, so let us see what is the stock that
You
I
have
need to
any courses, sir?
No, one is course, right? One is courses, but the other is to first reflect, saying what is the stock that I need to increase. Today we all know that there are some companies that in which you invest and you will become rich. Now, what is the stock that you need to invest yourself in, right? And are you a trader or an investor? Right? Do you want to trade, buy something in the morning and sell something in the evening, or you want to actually do something long term? If you want to do something long term,
Yes.
which I presume that is the case, then you have to really choose your stocks wisely, right?
Okay.
You have to choose your stocks wisely. For example, almost everything that is material, you're trading, right? You're trading time nowadays. We are
Yes.
trading time so that I can get paid for something. Now, I need to really look at those long-term stocks that I would like to invest myself in. For example, resilience. I would not like to get disturbed when I meet the next corrupt person.
Okay.
Right? That's an investment that I have to make in myself. I would like to make sure that I don't lose my temper when I see the next person who is angry with me.
Okay. Great.
These are the investments that actually are worth making. Now, question is, where will I find these stocks? Right?
Okay.
Many of these stocks will be found in your portfolio currently, which we have ignored, right? Which is maybe I don't make time for myself. Maybe I don't have a schedule for myself. Maybe I'm not having a discipline. Maybe I have not spent time reflecting. Maybe I have not spent time with other people where I can actually be able to contribute to their growth. So many things are possible. I'm not telling this for you, but I'm telling this thinking about my own journey, right? That whenever I have found myself to be feeling demotivated, feeling that I cannot do something, I have actually spent time teaching kids, 8th grade, 6th grade kids. I have taught them for many years, not because it was a side income or something. I've never taken money. It's for pro bono. But the reason is, when I found that I could teach them max, I suddenly got a feeling that, I can actually help someone. That gave me the confidence that I am not useless. I have the capability to even help someone. I have come back from writing exams where I felt absolutely dejected engineering. I came back home and taught 5th grade and 6th grade people max, and I have felt better, motivated about myself. Because suddenly I have seen that I have been able to give somebody clarity. I have somebody able to help them in their studies. Then I thought, I'm not that bad. I can do this. Even that small amount of lift that you will get is an investment in yourself, right? You will go immediately and say, yeah, let me go back and study that subject again. And because my mindset has changed, I have now come from the mindset that I can help someone. I can be useful. I am actually able to recover from this situation. Now I have suddenly made better sense of the same subject. I have made better sense of those mistakes that I made, and I have overcome them. I eventually ended up topping my exams, but I started from a very low thing, very demotivated, very low point. So at some point, I need to recognize that that small act of helping someone, you call it karma or whatever it is, has come back and given me the confidence to look at life differently, to look at the same exam differently, right? So maybe these are small actions that I need to invest in.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
I've
Great, sir.
I've
No,
shared
no,
quite.
Bhanu
Yes.
sir, last 5 year I am giving 300 roti per day to needy person.
Right.
Last 5 years, it's a great achievement. I think God has given me chance every day 300 rotis to
Sir,
needy
you're in the
people.
top 0.1% of the world, sir. You're already thinking about
No,
somebody
no,
else.
no, no, sir.
No, no, it is actually true because
God give me confidence. I am in
correct.
2020. I lost my parents, both parents. I was so depressed, and I have joined Brahma Kumaris also. And 2020 and 2025, I gained my confidence back
Yep.
because of this doing. Yes,
Yes, sir, yeah, I've recently, one of my friends was sharing a very beautiful story. This colleague is very depressed and feeling dejected in life. And my friend actually gave a very simple suggestion to her. For in a nearby school, there was a book donation drive happening.
yes,
And he said, I'm going there to the book donation drive. You just come along with me. She stood on this side of the table and they're handing books to her and she is handing the books to the children. And just that act of giving these books to the children and seeing the smile on the children's face took her out of
yes,
depression.
yes, yes, sir. Yes.
She completely transformed. She said, I didn't know that giving
Hmm.
had, and she is giving something that she didn't even own. This act of giving, this act of feeling that you have made someone happy was
Yes.
so powerful that she recovered and she was so positive. Now she's able to help others. So I think we are underestimating sometimes the power of that giving.
Giving.
Whatever act you are
Yes.
doing for 5 years,
Yes.
it is an
Yes.
investment that you are making for lifetimes, for generations, because
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
that will actually help you overcome a lot of things. That will give you a lot of internal confidence and strength.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
You should share your experiences and make other people strong now.
yes, sir. Yes.
Automatically, the world will look better.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Bhanu Bhai, for beautifully explaining. And there are a lot of takeaways from this conversation. Investing in ourselves, making our more resilient. We need to check ourselves whether I am able to control my temper or being calm at the situation. So, thank you for all those different small tools or area of action where we can work and definitely lead a purposeful life. So I'll go with my next question. And like it has been observed, like when we have a certain purpose in our life and we are leading that purposeful life, then we get a lot of different, pressure from the society, or there might be some fear of losing or doubts, or there may be extra outside situations or society pressures or office pressures or family pressures which might be hurdle in leading that purposeful life. So how to balance that out?
Yeah, again, interesting. And Sunilji just brought up the point of COVID. I'll share my own experience. When I saw what was happening during COVID, it actually made me reflect deeply. And I've done a significant amount of introspection on fear, on the topic of fear, and something that maybe I have shared this with several people, whoever have talked to me on this topic. So fear is something very deep and very interesting to observe. So when COVID was happening, we were seeing people whom we knew upfront, so close, our own family members, relatives who were passing away or who were going through really difficult situations, and we couldn't actually do much. You couldn't even get out of your home, and you couldn't ask somebody else to help them. There are so many situations that were unimaginable. You never thought that you would get into a situation like this, and I also concerned for my own family members, my own safety, family's safety. Also developed this feeling of saying, actually, this is fear. Now, but how do I understand this better? This is not a very pleasant situation to be, and we have seen a lot of sorrow, a lot of grief during this time. So it is important for me to think and work on this topic. So my realization or my reflection on this has been that if I were to think of a situation where there is a chance for fear to come, right, I will call that crisis. And when there is no crisis, I will call that peacetime. So my work for preparation for the crisis starts during the peacetime. At the peacetime, that means when there is no crisis, right now, for example, relatively speaking, there is no crisis. In this time, I need to really reflect on two things. One, what are my anchors in life? Right. So what I have observed is if I have placed my confidence and if I have taken for granted my life's anchors to be whatever it is, right? Say, for example, why am I confident at work? Why am I confident at work? What gives me confidence? Is it because of the people that I know? Is it because of the money that I have? Is it because of XYZ reason? So that root cause that actually gives you a particular behavior is your anchor. Now it's time for me to reflect what those anchors are. Right? If those anchors are anything material, those anchors are likely to shake in something like a COVID. It did not matter how much money you had, it did not matter who you knew, right? So those anchors, and today that same thing applies to a job. Like today, if there are layoffs happening in the IT industry or wherever, the same fears are continuing. Now the same reflection applies. What are my anchors in life? What actually gives me confidence on my ability to be financially sustainable? What is it that I really think is the reason why I'm employed, right? What is it that makes me skilled, qualified? So that foundational anchors I need to reflect on. If I take any of those anchors from material sources, from physical sources, they are more likely to shake. That is something that I need to really think of. Second thing to think about is what do I replace these anchors with? Right. Yeah. So what actually can give me confidence? What actually can give me strength? And how can I make those anchors as inward facing as possible? Right. So I think these are two questions to really reflect when it comes to fear. So because a lot of, for example, a lot of fear is also based on what will people think about me. Right. Because my sense of confidence sometimes comes from saying, oh yeah, people think of me in a very good way. They think I'm smart. They think I'm very well educated. If my sense of confidence comes from what people think of me, then I have handed over my keys to somebody else. Whenever they change their thinking, I will change my mood. That's a very unsafe anchor to be at, right? So these are examples. So if I am confident in my own personal growth, if I am confident in my own emotional maturity and emotional progress, I think that will be independent of any other material support, physical support. So I am taking that anchor and putting it in myself and say the reason why I'm doing something is not because of somebody liking it or somebody approving it or somebody validating it. It's because I personally have seen progress. I have seen personally that I am actually feeling better. And that is the real reason why I'm doing something. There may be some things in life that I have to do temporarily, right? So that I can do it temporarily because maybe I have a job that I just have to pay, it helps me pay my bills. But in the long run, your ability to sustain yourself or your ability to continue to grow has to be independent of something that is physical. You should be able to find anchors that are more permanent. And those permanent anchors usually are something that are closer to the self. So that is something that actually eliminates or reduces fear to a large extent, because then you become more independent. You become more carefree of whatever happens in the world. Then I'm actually able to stabilize myself faster.
Thank you, Bhanu bhai. Any questions from the audience? Uh,
Yeah, Neeraj bhai, Bhanu bhai, I have one question here.
yeah, please.
You're saying that find out the purpose actually, and the purpose should be something which make me happy, content, and all. So those are actually more of the purpose which are related to the something benefit for the society. But for example, we are in a situation where the career growth or the money also is important, and I really want to find my where I want to find my purpose also. Can the two go together?
Yeah, see, sometimes I think we put a lot of our, when I ask people this question saying, how many hours are there in a week? You'll be surprised that many of them will say that we have 40 hours in a week, because we are so used to our timesheets and we are so used to our billing hours. We have forgotten that we actually have 170 hours in a week. So we put a lot of onus on the quality of our life. We put a lot of onus of how my progress should be on just my career. My career is just 25% of the time that I spend, my office work and so on. The rest of the time is for ourselves. So, and I don't agree, or I don't align with this philosophy that we have two lives. There's a professional life and there's a personal life. I think you only have one life. There is only one life, and whatever happens in work impacts personal life. Whatever happens in personal life impacts work. At the same time, if I have three-fourths of my week to myself, how unfair it is to put the onus of my own contentment, to my own growth, on something that I'm only spending 40 hours a week. I should be able to take the rest of the time, figure out a way to do it, right? There can't be any excuses. We have to figure out a way to make time for myself, to extract that time, to carve out that time, and be able to invest in doing something good. Now, it doesn't need to be social good. It needs to be maybe professional growth, right? What education can I do? What learning can I do? What skills do I need to develop? If my particular career is in going in a particular narrow tunnel, can I do something? Can I do create a new investment? Can I go and do an apprentice? Can I go and shadow some under somebody else so that I learn a new skill? Right? There are so many things that I should find a way to do. This part requires stretching. This part requires going beyond what you're used to, and that when you stretch, that becomes your new capacity. You will never go back to your old self. The more you keep stretching time to time, my cycle is every 18 months. Every 18 months, I would like to identify something new that I should do, and I would like to stretch myself. This is uncomfortable. This is something that I would like to do that has never been done before, and that gives me new skills. And that stretched ability now becomes my new normal. I will take on new things, I will add on new things that I have not done before, and it will give me an idea of how I can take up additional work, additional dimensions of my personality. So, quite honestly, we are, let me not put it we, I am typically less inclined to make this additional investment, because I feel that this has to come at the expense of something else. It's not a zero sum game. It's not that you give something extra and something will come down. It's not a zero sum game. It's very easy for us to accommodate. We have to make effort. It may take 6 months for you to identify that extra 2 hours per week to invest. It's okay. But once you find the time, you will never go back. And that 2 hours investment will give you 10 hours worth of return for sure. You will develop new skills. People will observe those new skills and you will be able to invest it back. But as long as we keep saying that I don't know how to do it, I have my career objectives are full, I have to work 70 hours a week, you will lose 1 year or 2 years and you will not still develop a new skill, right? So I think that investment mentality has to be there in the self, and for that is where I think, spiritual strengths are required, right? There is need for us to be able to take stock of the situation and really honestly look at myself, saying, am I really using all my time that I have absolutely accurately, right? Are there places where I'm slacking but I'm calling myself busy, right? And those are the places where that honesty will help us actually see that actually I have time, I can easily make 2 or 3 hours per week. That is the time I will start investing, and that karma, that good action will give you a return, and you contribute towards society, you contribute towards your own career, your own learning or growth. That will slowly, over a period of time, it will amplify and it will get you more and more time.
Yeah, thank you, Bhanu bhai. I think we are already on top of the hour, so I'll take a couple of more questions which will directly come on the chat window. So one question has come like, I have been working in IT for 15 years. I have made all the money, but I'm always in stress, workload, sleepless nights, and not living the life what I want. I feel like I can leave the job altogether because all companies are same, but I'm not sure whether I can take this decision or not.
Can you repeat the last part?
No, I feel like all companies are same, and I feel to quit the job now, but I'm not sure whether it's a right decision or not.
Yeah, so if you're financially stable, there is and there is no liabilities. That means you're making very meaningful decision. Your decision is not harming somebody else, right? These are very important parameters to check. Sometimes people could be reckless, that their decision, which they think is um, courageous, or very risky decision that they have taken, actually puts their family at risk, puts maybe their elderly parents at risk. So if you are financially stable, you don't have any liabilities which could cause adverse impact for somebody else, you have an amazing opportunity. That means in the next, I would say in the next 5 years or so, the world is going to see a seismic shift, right? You're going to see tremendous opportunity, at the same time tremendous need, where society as a whole will benefit from your contribution. People will benefit, youngsters will benefit, right? Whatever you choose, whatever path you choose, there is so much value that you can add to society. You could actually teach younger people maybe better values. You could actually do something with your time, with your knowledge, with your experience. You could actually join initiatives that are building some amazing applications for the community. There are so many places, tech for good initiatives, I mean, so many places where you have your experience and your skills. Being financially independent is one of the most useful things to have at this time, right? Because most of the others are chasing money, and most of the others are chasing familiarity and so on. So you have the luxury of being able to not think about all those things and do something for the rest of the world. Great opportunity. I think you should just pursue it. I don't know what is stopping you. You should pick up the opportunity that you get next and do it. I have no specific recommendation as to what you should do, but there are, if you are willing, there are so many things that are available.
One thing I can suggest, if you don't mind. Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
please go
Yeah,
ahead.
actually, currently, well, like it's a way to pursue, but I have seen that agentic AI, and then it is making a try like anything, and they have made many things so much easier. So we can develop such applications, learn that, and it can be helpful for the charitable organizations like Brahma Kumaris or something, which can, like, suppose now Gen AI has come, they have suppose an agentic AI. Suppose anybody has any question, they can ask any question related to Murli, and that can, like, give a reply. So that interesting things which can be of seva, so that will give you a satisfaction. And being an IT, you can utilize that, because I have just now learning most of the things I have seen. It is so advanced that it has become very many various things very easier, like robots. So just a suggestion. I hope it helps.
Sure. Always my recommendation or my experience has been, do something that will bring a smile on somebody's face. Right? It will give you the greatest joy. It will give you the greatest motivation. If you don't see that, sometimes it's difficult for you. Already in our corporate lives, we are writing code that nobody will probably see, or you're at least not going to see the person who's going to use it. But if you're able to do something that will make someone happy, that will be a significant investment for yourself.
All right. So I'll take another question. Now we have understood like self-realization, self-improvement are the tools for personal growth. Can you suggest some more structured tool for personal growth?
So I would say self-realization and those
Self-improvement.
self-improvement are natural outcomes. What is required, I think, is awareness, right? Uh, first, let me come to this point about awareness is important. Saying, I don't know what I should do now, right, is a common question. So being aware of what is your own need and what is the need of people around you, I think is a very important skill to have. Just being a bit more observant, just being a bit more patient, and listening with your heart and seeing exactly what the need is. I think that is something that we can all do. That gives you the next step, saying, if I'm become more aware of what my needs are, then I'll probably gain some amount of maturity to say, after my need, I don't need anything more, right? Then what do I do with excess? What do I do with my extra time? What do I do with my skills? How do I contribute? So that sense of service, that sense of feeling that I can contribute to something is very, very important. That gives you your own self-awareness, saying, actually, this is who I am. And then I think in the process, when you actually are doing these things, you will realize that it's much more difficult than writing code. It's much more difficult than working in a corporate job. Solving the world's problems, solving realistic, real world situations are much more meaningful. At least that's been my experience. N times more complex than anything that I have done in my corporate life. So I think then there is improvement, because then I'm seeing that I'm actually dealing with things that completely build my new capacity, build my new perspectives. Now, what else can I do in a more structured way? I think the what I've shared so far, while it may appear unstructured, you're actually doing it for a particular cause. The deeper thing to think about is, how do I add something new to myself every day, or every week, maybe, right? If not every day. So I should be able to do something that is new, something that is challenging me, pulling me out of my comfort zone, as they say. And that friction, that newness is what actually makes me grow, right? If I repeatedly do what I have always been doing, that doesn't necessarily give me growth. If I am repeatedly doing something that I am doing always, then the sign from that is that I have to do it in a shorter period of time. And if I'm taking something 40 hours a week to do something that is repetitive, I should probably do this in 25 hours now. I make 15 hours myself. Now in that 15 hours, I should probably be able to invest in doing something new, something uncomfortable. That could be a new course, that could be a new skill, that could be calligraphy, that could be music, that could be a new game that you want to do. It could be anything that is making you uncomfortable, that is new to you. So the only structure that I can recommend is slow down, pause, and reflect. If there is repetition, if there is something that I'm doing continuously, I should probably think of ways to do it in lesser time. And whatever additional time I make, I should invest it back in doing something that's uncomfortable. And all of us can, should be able to find that is fairly unique to do, right? To compare to what skills I have existing.
Okay, thanks, Bhanu bhai. And I think I'll take the last question for now for today's session. How meditation or spirituality can help in all of this, what we have discussed in last 1 hour? Yeah.
Yeah, I think whatever I've been saying so far stems from clarity, right? And one of the biggest benefits of having a reflective mind, or something that you would call meditation, is this ability to understand exactly what is it that I need, right? Because what does slowing down thinking, slowing down thoughts do is it makes me reflect as to exactly what is it that I need. Why am I doing what I'm doing, and what is it that I am looking for in what I'm doing? And that gives me clarity, saying that this is all that I need, right? And this is what my actual potential is. This is what my capacities are. So meditation gives clarity, and that clarity can be taken in any direction that you want, right? You can increase your own capacity, you can increase that capacity and then contribute back to somebody else's well-being. So all of these are options. So very fundamentally, very simply put, I think meditation just gives you clarity. It also gives you strength, because most of the time I'm dependent on external sources of support. Like I was talking about anchors. Meditation teaches me to depend on myself. Meditation teaches me, and if you believe in a higher supreme or higher power, what meditation also teaches you is how you could recharge yourself and make yourself more powerful. And that way, there is no material source of that power. There is a spiritual source of that power. And that power also empowers you, makes you stronger, and ready to face whatever is uncomfortable, ready to face whatever is unknown. So you're seeing that you're over a period of time just relying on yourself. I will make sure that I'm here, make sure that I'm available, and make sure that I look at all my biases and all my preferences. I'm available to whatever I respond to. Bias, I respond. So this is what the idea of meditation. Yeah, I see that after a task is done, it's done. You're here. It's more.
I think your voice is breaking, means I can't hear properly. Anyone else can hear?
Yes, yes, same.
Okay,
Same
sure.
here. It is
All right,
breaking.
please go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, so you're not able to hear what I was saying?
Last
No,
1 minute,
I
please.
could not hear. I can hear now, but I could not hear for last 1 minute. Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that meditation gives you that strength.
Bhanubhai, there is little distortion in your voice.
Now is it still happening?
Still, it's there.
Okay.
Do you
I
want to
think
check
other
your mic
people can.
connection?
Yes, there is distortion.
Can you speak now, Bhanu?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Not properly. Still the same distortion is there.
Can you hear me now? Is this
Yeah,
better?
yeah, much better, much better.
Okay. Yeah. So is this clearer?
Yes,
Yeah.
very clear.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying is that the value of meditation is to give you clarity, of course. The other thing I was talking about is giving you strength, right? So if you believe in a higher power or a higher source, so one of the values of meditation is that you're able to recharge yourself and recharge yourself in such a way that your dependence is not on something material, but is something spiritual. And that enhanced spiritual strength allows you to face unknowns, uncertainties, something that's uncomfortable, and so on. So I have used meditation whenever I have had to deal with ambiguity, right? Whenever I have had to decision making, whenever I have to say I have to take a particular thing that is uncertain. Everybody else says that this is risky, it's not supposed to be done, you can't do this, and so on. So I've relied on meditation to help me give me the clarity or give me a sense of direction. And it's been very, very useful to see the outcomes, because when you have meditation, just like anything that you do physical life, you will expect to see results immediately, right? And the meditation is something where the results also will take time, right? And you can't look for material results from a spiritual practice, right? So spiritual practice will give you spiritual results, and spiritual results consistently applied will give you material results. So in the physical world, your relationships will get better, your outcomes will get better. Are all of these things are available, but I'll have to have consistency. I'll have to have strength to apply this over a period of time repeatedly. So these are things that I have to test, try, experiment. In Brahma Kumaris, there's a philosophy called use the laboratory of the mind. So make your mind a laboratory where you can test these things, you can experiment with yourself. And developing this skill is such a big such a big joy that I can become self-reliant.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Bhanu bhai. So definitely, we should learn this meditation, which gives clarity, makes our mind little less with less thoughts, and we think slowly, basically, and gives us the power also to face the challenges and situations. So we appreciate your time and everyone's time here for listening and taking some of the key takeaways from this session. And I'm sure it will make us our life more meaningful, purposeful, and also inspire others to lead the same kind of life. So, with that note, we'll take a pause for a minute. We'll sit in silence and then we conclude the session. Thank you. Om Shanti. Thank you for joining.
Om Shanti.
Thank you all.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Bhanu bhai. Thank you, Neeraj
Thanks.
bhai. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Neeraj bhai. Thank you, Bhanu bhai.